Within the United States of America lies a large industrial city that is the site of one of the world's largest slave labor camps. Located in and around the center of the city are community settlements where the slaves live. Each morning the slaves move like cattle into the slave labor camps. Each slave is at his or her workstation by 7:30 a.m. Here they report to their master for the day's duties. And here they remain chained until 5 o'clock p.m. when they are released to go home for rest. The slaves have no choice as to how many hours they must labor. Sometimes they are required to work overtime until their masters tell them they may leave and go home. Each year the slaves are told when to take their vacations, for how long and when they must return. They have little choice as to how much money they earn, as they are paid not what they are worth, but what the job is worth. They are allowed very little time for lunch and coffee breaks during the labor hours. The slaves will remain in their chains in great fear, because the master can punish them with a firing or layoff whip. It is said that even some of the older slaves who have been good and faithful have felt the sting of the whip. Day by day, year by year, the slave toils and grows older until the master decides it's time to release them to the retirement camps, where they are forced to sit idle and wait for death. It is a well-known fact that the old slaves who try to keep working are sometimes whipped with a stop their pension whip. I know these slave camps exist, for I once was a slave, but now I am a free man who lives among the slaves. The only reason why I am free is because I am in business for myself as an entrepreneur. Yes, I am truly free. I arise in the morning called for by my schedule. I decide my own hours. I can even sleep in late while the slaves are at work. I can vacation when, where, and for how long I please. I'm free to take my coffee break and lunch when I decide. And of course, I can decide my own paycheck because I am not a slave. I can choose to work when and where I please and with whom I please. I'm free to stay in the city for as long as I want, or to move on to greener pastures if I decide to. I've seen many slaves sadly pack their belongings to leave their city in search of a new master. But unfortunately, it's always the same. There is, however, a ray of hope for the slave. He or she can buy their own freedom. The cost is not high, yet it seems high to many. High to those who do not have the courage to pay the price. What is the price, you may ask? The price is that one must be willing to be one's own master and to learn the required skills that will help them to become the master of their own destiny.